Alright, guys, we're gonna unlock some crazy shit in your brain. Potentially. Or just, I'll plant an idea and see what happens. But we're gonna discuss Disney and Nickelodeon shows. Because there's a reason to watch them for me personally. Uh, I watched Victorious because it was just genuinely good. And then I was kind of entangled with Ariana to watch Sam and Ken. It was just one season. I survived it. I don't know how I allowed myself to do it, but the moment I started like watching Selena's show, which is Wizards in Waverly Place, I'm like, I can't, I can't commit to that. This is getting boring. Because Victorious was like the best thing ever. Uh, Now, why am I coming back to Disney shows and Nickelodeon shows? Am I not a fucking adult, an old person now? Well, Disney princesses are goddamn popular, bro. You would be like, oh, she is popular because of TikTok and Wednesday and stuff. No, she's literally Disney princess, if you haven't noticed. She has Stuck in the Middle show, basically. And I was like, question, why do I see her in my feed? Why do I see everywhere? She doesn't even make music yet. What's going on, man? She's not one of those, like, weird manufactured actresses that are popular because she was able to express herself. No, she has, like, stuck in the middle nonsense going on. For 3 years, I guess. I don't know. 3 seasons. And that's a Disney show. Same goes with Olivia. Olivia is also apparently a Disney princess. I knew it a little bit longer. This one was like a little bit shocking, but like, yeah. She comes from bizarre work or whatever. And I'm not saying that's the reason to watch the shows, unfortunately. There's a whole nother reason. And hopefully my thumbnail and title explains why. You can literally fantasize about it and turn up the sexuality meter so up that, weird shit happens in your brain at least. I love that. I love that in my fantasy worlds. Anything goes. I can do whatever I want and I will not be judged. Apparently, this is like the worst thing that can happen to you, like sexuality can happen and it's like very awkward to everyone. But even worse that can happen to people is conversation, bro. Holy shit, man. So I have a list of 13 Disney shows that we're going to reveal that are kind of like, uh, they have their own twists, they have their own star of the show, but also their own flavor. And kind of exist in a different timeline, all of them, but I don't care about that. I don't care about the age of the actresses because they normally like at 14, 16 type of nonsense. I don't care because they're all grown up. So I can look into their older pixels. All right. In fact, I'm gonna give you guys a whole, speech about incels and the creeps of the internet like myself, and I will defend them successfully once again because, of course, I have to whack the mole when it pops up when people are like, oh, but like, I want to call you names and I will feel better about myself when I call you names because my life is so much better than yours. It's like, yeah, but whose fault it is? Are you helping? Is that helpful? Or do you just want to be a bully now? Do you want to just wear a title that's just way worse because, you found a person that you don't like, so you're going to be worse than them. And that's how you're going to outcompete them by being more negative and disrespectful. That's what people choose to do. Most people are immature and they think they win by being more disrespectful and annoying and pathetic. They think they're winning, they're growing faster. And that's kind of true. I can't deny that. It's just like I'm an adult. I have to grow out of being negative and stuff. That took me a while. That took me a hit in the face by a Disney Nickelodeon princess Ariana into a whole nother world, basically. So I have to respect her. I believe she's number 4? 3. You didn't see anything, by the way, guys. That's how it works. Sabrina didn't show up on your screen. So yeah, even though Victorious is like, when I reviewed it, I'm like, well, there's nothing sexual about this, right? You can sexualize everything, all right? But sometimes the difficulty is so high that you just have to disqualify these 2 girls. Yeah, they're literally disqualified. I'm not watching that shit. In fact, it's so weird to watch Olivia's one. It has Jake Paul, and she always wears pants, meaning that I got nothing. I got nothing to even work with. Even though there's like a theme song where she's turned into something, you know, more sexual. It's like a virus. But that's how it's being treated. The sexuality is like a virus. While in Jenna Ortega's case, sexuality is, you know, somewhere outside of her world, you know, because she lives in a giant family, like 7 children and stuff. And she's one of them. So, like, yeah, like, your family, your parents already had so much sex that you probably don't have to have it for a long time. You have to deal with all the fucking children around you and solve their problems and not be a fucking nuisance yourself and just graduate your family. I don't know. It's still pretty good. Still pretty good to have permanent friendships if it works out. So that's pretty good. But there's no sexuality because that would be really awkward if it happened in a family or if it happened next to Jake Paul. I don't want it, okay? No one wants it. You know who Jake Paul is, right? And he's like a fucking stuntman, introduced like a stuntman, bro, doing crazy things, just being used for something. It feels like just to spice up the videos. It's kind of weird. I don't know. And I don't like Olivia's music. I don't like her as a person at the moment, so it's not a loss at all. I don't like Jenna either. These are not losses. This is fine. All right. And that's why probably it's very difficult to unlock the whole thing, because even though there's more pixels, it's a newer generation. It's higher quality videos. I'm like, yeah, but you wear pants, so I can't do nothing. My fantasy is clogged up. I'm pretty phased though. I don't know. But only for Olivia. And maybe she sometimes gets pretty. I'll show you guys the theme song because it's so fascinating how the theme song is always giving you just enough hints of like how can you unlock this whole potential. All right. And yes, to give a straight example of what the fuck I'm doing here, I'm turning Disney and Nickelodeon shows into porn, basically. All right. Even if to trigger even faster imagination, like tentacle porn. Imagine, yeah. So I just sit there. I'm like, oh, they're enjoying themselves very much right now. But yeah, it's more of a mild social version of like, oh my god, there's something brewing and something crazy will happen. And I still am just training my brain to pick up on the weird things. The thing that triggered for me to do this is goddamn Dove Cameron, bro. And potentially she just did it in this song. I don't know. Just come and set me free, baby, and I'll be with you. I mean, great. It's a genie in a bottle, and it's like, what dream would you come true? And it's always just going to be sexual dreams. There's nothing I can come up with, like that would actually make me happier, unfortunately. Except for like, oh, I want to be rich and famous. I don't want that. I just want something to cuddle and not feel alone. You know, like, that's what I want. And I also don't want to be fucking bullied for being alone as well. Like, what? That doesn't help anyone. All right? You're just becoming an enemy, and you think nothing bad is going to happen when you just insult as many insults as you can possibly find, right? And just create a new word for it of like Discord mod of like, oh, this is a fat and ugly person that no one is gonna love. It's like, Jesus Christ, like, can we stop? Can we stop like this whole hateful wave of labeling people? But like, I don't know. We'll see where it goes, because negativity doesn't go anywhere. It just ruins your life. But anyways, I wanted to show you guys the introduction of this theme song. Kind of matters, but it's just like stuck in the middle of a party, stuck in the middle of a eye of a tornado. It's just weird. It's a little bit catchy, as every theme song's supposed to be. This one probably the catchiest one though. Yeah, when they see Eye of a Tornado and there's a spill, again, the mother's probably having a lot of fun making all these children, but like, I don't know, man. I don't know how you survive in the middle of nothingness. Giant family. What can possibly happen? Because incest is not fun. Child porn is definitely not fun. So let's not talk about it. All right. What fun is just that you have accumulated pixels that can serve multiple purposes, and if it serves sexual purpose without you getting naked, that's pretty fucking fantastic, isn't it? That's like, wow, I don't actually have to do weird things on the camera to actually arouse people. I think that's an achievement. This one is the one I wanted to talk about, because it's actually quite fascinating. I actually already have it open for some reason, so. They start with the baguette thing, and it's like, oh, swinging and eating a baguette is like fucking boring. And I'm like, shit, this is definitely sexual for me. Swinging, bro, just moving around and eating a baguette, you know. That's boring. Let's make videos, though. And all of a sudden, there's no more sexual things at all. There's zero. And you can see that the pants that they're wearing, it's almost like reinforced steel. Like she's even wearing the whole strap thing. It's like, oh my god, bro. And it's also like even awkward watching this stuff because an Asian person is introduced. And an Asian person, she has a father who's a doctor, obviously, and doctors fucking creep me out like hell, you know, especially when healthcare is so expensive in America. It should creep everyone out that there's a doctor in this Disney fucking series. Oh my god. So it goes on, and I'm like, well, I guess nothing sexual is there, except for Jake Paul, and so he ruins everything even more. In fact, there's a perfect, you know, this is my reaction to like Jake Paul's existence of like, what is this monstrosity, bro? Holy shit, man. So I'm like, okay, like, I guess that's it. But no. This gives me an idea of like, shit, I need to watch more of the show because this happens in the theme. I need more context on the song so you can hear. Look your best. Yeah, look your best. that part.
Your best.
Shit. It runs.
Teaching you how to look your best.
All of a sudden, it's the only sexual thing, but it's like, wow. She transferred the disease, you know? Boom. That's what I would want. And maybe in a fantasy way, I could sort of do it, but I try it and it doesn't fucking work. Like this direct thing where I just copy and paste in my mind the outfit, the no. So I don't know. Also, there's that. Yeah, Jake Paul just ruined everything, by the way, about the show, but that's fine. I understand. With this Disney Channel flow, no. I don't have a soundbite, by the way, from Jake Paul with the Disney Channel flow. The only one I have is this.
Oh, past all the competition, man. PewDiePie is next.
Now he's gonna fight against Mr. Beast, by the way. So that's that. And I cried for Jake Paul, and now I accept him as a normal YouTuber and stuff. Apparently he is normalized in my eyes. But this is not. It's not fine. This is traumatic experience. This is really bad. At the same time, I'm like, shit. This guy turned into a YouTuber, so I guess that's pretty cool. To be a Disney YouTuber, like, that's pretty weird, isn't it? It's pretty wacky. So there's more. Well, there's number 13, which also didn't work out. Descendants, basically. I thought it was a cool series. They looked kind of weird, and there's this wickedness going on with Dove Cameron turning into just darkness slowly. But apparently these are movies, so don't really fit in. I mean, I could try and figure out. There's 3 movies. There's like 18 episodes, you would say, of Disney shows, because if you split movie into 20-minute videos, then you get 6 episodes. So this is 18. You got a whole season of episodes. I mean, I could try and unlock what's so sexy about it, but like, I don't know. The whole plot is Dove given a chance because it's a new generation of like evil people, but they're still being put into the mainland, and it's like, well, you can do your thing, and if you're good enough people, you're probably gonna get to stay on the mainland. I think that's the plot, and I'm kind of fascinated by that because it unlocks a whole idea of like a new generation of people is never going to be evil. They can easily learn new things and adapt, but they have to start, or they have to be pulled from their families and all the bad intentions that those families might pack their bags with. It's kind of fascinating. And it also challenges the mainland of like, are we good enough to be able to train these people? It's kind of like immigration topic, I would say. It's quite interesting. And again, it just unlocks a whole topic of immigration, because like, how are we going to make babies if we don't want to make babies anymore? If it's very exhausting, well, we're just going to steal babies from other countries. Very simple. We're just going to buy people. And India is probably selling them already. Can't wait. So, we have the Wizards in Waverly Place. What happens in there? Well, now we're going to be talking about all the stuff, the sexualization of how I found a twist of like, how can I sexualize the thing that I'm watching without like completely breaking it and making it like gross and ugly and weird, right? Because then you get the story aligned with your fantasy. You're watching things, but you're also like seeing in your fantasy, like weird things happening, or you can do weird things. I don't know, man. I can already do that when I'm in bed or just watching still images, of course. But it's way more interesting if there's like story attached, if there's like culmination happening, if sexual things just gonna happen because they just, you know, there's too much pressure for them not to happen. So that's why you would want to watch these shows. In fact, the first show I watched is Dove Cameron season 4 of Liv and Maddie, episode 3. And I almost like got this like whisper to watch that episode until she just got sprayed on her face. It was a Halloween episode and it was like the ending, and I'm like, shit, like I squeezed my lemon at the same time. It was just the glitchiest thing ever. It blew my mind and it unlocked this whole Disney insanity. So that's how she looked like. And this is like Maddie. So she's not sexualized. Liv and Maddie is like one version is super sexualized and the other one is just like mild. So this one is like super duper twisted episode. And does she get sprayed by Google? Unfortunately. I can't show you that easily. The rules that I set up of like, well, guys are not allowed because if they see anything, it would be really awkward. So I try to stay away from that. But they have like this sanctuary for themselves, the entire room. So I'm like, okay, I'll just invade that. And it sort of works. But in that particular episode, I'm like, well, all women are allowed to just like have this like sexual experience for themselves. And it was like revealed that, well, I have to really like show it. But someone opened the door and just started spraying, I think. And they were like waiting for it and trying to capture that person. But I'm like, okay, there's nothing sexual that I can do because that person is ambiguous. It could be a male or female. And it turned out to be a female. And I'm like, shit. You just destroyed me. Like, I can rewind and just rewatch it. You know, that sort of style. Anyways. But it just unlocked the whole idea that, like, shit. This is kind of crazy. Now, it's weird that Dove is playing the role of both characters. I'm not sure why is this spice of things to this day, but it's still pretty cool. All right. So she can mess with herself, basically. And the other girls sort of exist, but not really. It's just her in her room, basically. The most common thing that happens. Now, with Selena, it's a little bit different. She's more of a dominant person, a smart person. And she's also a wizard, so she can, you know, mess with the balance of things, even though she says not to in the theme song. But yeah, we're gonna mess with balance of things and we're gonna sexualize things straight in everyone's face. You know, like she's gonna just strictly attack sexually a person because she's a wizard. She can just, you know, butt plug people if she wants to, so to speak. But it gets worse and worse as she pulls people into privacy, you know, for them. Selena is going to have way too much fun with them. With Ariana and the Victorious cast in general, there's like 4 girls, right? So it's kind of like a dice roll of like which 2 girls are going to just smack into each other. Again, I try to isolate women. With Selena, I don't think I can. She's just going to sexualize everything that she gets her hands on. But in Victorious, I'm like, shit, I'll just smack 2 women together whenever I have a chance. And that's gonna be heat overload, bro. And I have 7 more shows. Because apparently it works. But it no longer works. Like, again, the newer generation shows, like, they just don't hit properly, even though they have more pixels. Higher resolution. It could have been so much more fun. But at the same time, it would have been more creepy because now I'm an old dude. So I'm actually pretty happy that I'm not enticed. That Disney is somehow, like, ending the whole career in a way. Because it's no longer working for me. Again, you probably haven't seen it, but there's like a deep dive channel. And they touched on the Nickelodeon, like the creepy side, and I'm like, every time there's drama, I just don't see it that way. You know, I don't see the creepiness of the feet. Yes, the feet are pretty creepy, but it's just like, that's kind of like the idea. That's literally the idea, just to create this drama. Like, this is still a part of the script, you know what I mean? Drama is still sometimes the part of the script. Like, yes, it's gonna creep people out and make people talk about it, and it's just completely fine because, yeah, we still haven't, you know, broken through enough layers to actually understand what the plan was. And for me, again, like, this whole episode just unveiled of like, oh, they're having sex with each other in the background, and I'm like, well, then I deserve to have it in my fantasy world too, all right? If you guys just sexualize each other in the background, then yeah, I'll join in. Don't worry about it. Spiritually. I'll figure things out how I can sexualize every episode as well, because that's usually what it is, right? Like, people put things in their minds of like, I'll be displayed this way and that way and this way, but I also did something in the background because I just couldn't control myself. I have so much power that I have to like unleash. That's the sexual energy, right? Like, when you're so powerful, you just want to like unleash your powers onto someone who actually cares, by the way. And everyone on set usually cares about each other because they're all just being semi-abused. But, you know, it's only like the poor little girl, Jeanette McCurdy, that complained about it. Of like, oh, I was so abused that I can't even handle it, actually. And it's like, no, you're just not that hot, though. So you were not abused, by the way. All right. Yeah. In the end, I am one of those people who just says, women have just one condition, just to be pretty for as long as possible. Just one condition, and it's actually fucking difficult. All right? Because now if you're sexually active, now your fucking hotness gets tossed around left and right. Like, it's very difficult to survive. And also, it's just like, you can pick up like bad ideas. The person that survived hotness for the longest is not even a Disney princess. It's literally Taylor Swift. Like, I don't remember a time when she was not just a normal person. She was always a normal person. And now I see her in my dreams a little bit too often. I'm not sure what's going on. Please don't invade me, Taylor Swift. You don't have to. I like it though. Oh, actually, this was a whole nothing burger. We have the buns. Yeah, so the Powerpuffs all showed up in my dreams. I'm just saying, all the Ari, Selena, and Rebecca as well. The funny thing is, when I was making this episode, I'm like, shit, Miley Cyrus, literally in the middle, right? But Miley Cyrus is almost like linked with everyone. With Taylor, she's linked. With Ariana, she's linked. Even with Rebecca Black, she's linked because Rebecca Black literally sang like 3 songs: the Wrecking Ball, uh, We Won't Stop song, and Malibu. And she literally just drove into Malibu to just sing to that song, to make a cover of it. It's kind of fascinating. And on the other side, Miley has commented on her song and stuff publicly in the negative way and positive way, which is like weird. Like, what? So which side are you on? You're on a hater side? But it's like, yeah, just take both sides. I don't care. Literally anything goes. Anything is possible, and I won't be surprised. People make big deal out of like normal things that I have to experience. If I'm lonely, I'm gonna be attached to pixels on the screen, my friends. In fact, I'm gonna be so attached to pixels on the screen that it's actually gonna solve itself. How? If I love their projection of themselves, Selena and Ari projecting themselves onto just the internet, it's always gonna be there. If Ari becomes like somewhat unattractive to anyone and just falls off relevancy, she can just always have a boyfriend who cares about the pixels on the screen, the version that Ari just eternally exists on. And obviously I have to be like a pretty good boyfriend, but we can just like lay in bed and just watch her stuff or just explore more other things, and we would still be happy. But I'm aiming for something even, higher level than this. But I'm already like liberating myself as an incel of like, shit, even though I cared only about pixels on the screen, we're both gonna be happy of like, she's gonna be happy looking at me, looking at her image from the past that's eternally just powerful and beautiful, and we can always just clean it up, just wax it until it's just perfected, and everyone remembers her that way. We can both work together to perfect the image, and that would be the perfect boyfriend for these Disney princesses. A person who cherishes the pure version of them and not tries to, spill the tea in their fucking face and rip them apart for every little thing they have. I just want a person that I could, be with and appreciate, and I'm already like doing the work for it. I'm already learning things while nobody else wants to fucking even talk to me, so I can't even go anywhere. There's no moves. There's no game of chess going on. For me to have moves, there has to be like a chessboard, At least give me a pawn to move forward. That would be boring, but I would just at least do it and see what happens. Maybe I can promote into a queen. Like, and when I say that, it's like, that's exactly true. Like, you get a pawn, you get a shitty girl, and you can still promote her into a queen, but I get nothing to work with. So I'm just staring at the screen, and people can call me an incel. It's not an insult. It's just reality that I can't escape from, and you're not fucking helping. You're not. It's novelty to call out a label for the first time to someone. It's novelty to like repeat it for 5 times maybe. So you truly like have a reason to identify what the fuck does it mean. It's no longer novelty when everyone's screaming at you the same fucking thing and it becomes boring and just disgusting. No longer novelty, just it's bullying now. So you have to like double check which side are you on. You on just for the first time you giving someone a word that people use, or you giving something that the person now despises, because I do in fact despise. Anyone says the word incel, I die inside quite a bit, and it's not helpful to anyone, all right? Anyways, yeah, you will mature, most of you, and you'll understand. If you already matured, you understand how positivity works, and that you won't fucking get money if you don't do a good job. It's the most basic thing, of positivity. For me, I don't have to do anything. I just have to enjoy my life as much as possible while still being alone and rejected in a way. Which is fine because in Europe, popularity works the opposite way, that the least popular people are the most powerful. I feel like the most powerful person, because I'm like super smart, right? In Europe, you get to kind of get this high level of education and high level of pressure of just like, you have to worship every single penny you get because you might not actually earn that much more. So it's a high dose of education constantly and a high dose of loneliness, but high speed internet. There's not a lot of problems like social problems. Everyone stays out of your way. So being lonely sometimes is a very beneficial thing, but that's where I am right now. I needed for you guys to understand the vibe here. And yeah, it's like if sexual things happening in the background, I'm like, I'm excited. I'm very happy for them. You know. Now if the creator does sexual things, for this trying to like I mean, it gets pretty creepy because, like, you're an old dude. You should have, like, supermodels that you can deal with, not like little children, right? That is the whole idea. People don't say it that way because it's like it's still creepy for them. But, like, no, like, if you're rich and you are a responsible person, like, you can deal with grown-ass women now. Like, stay away from that shit. But it is what it is. You can, it's definitely over creepyfied, and everyone goes to extremes to make the best video they possibly can make for the sake of like those $200 that they've earned. Hope it was worth it. And so, as I've said, it opens a can of worms of like anything can be sexualized because if I'm a virgin and I haven't even experienced sex, I have to like conjure it up. I won't be able to properly do it just using pixels on the screen, but like it's still going to be like 50% there, and I'll be able to extract like information of like all this different scenarios. So like this Disney show package is going to give you different scenarios of how you can interact with kind of a normal setup of a social construct, but then sexualize it and extract, you know, information from that experience, because that's pretty cool stuff. Now, why sexual experience is so uplifting and fascinating? You get to associate with a person. Miley Cyrus tells a story of like, she's a popular kid, but she's also a normal kid, and has like friends that, you know, she had to reveal herself to and normalize herself of like, yes, I'm a celebrity, but don't be obsessed about it. It's not that big of a deal. And it's kind of deep, a message. But to ruin the message, I'm like, well, Hannah Montana is still a powerful person. That makes Miley Cyrus a powerful person. And Lily, her friend, is just, well, let's just sexual abuse her as much as we want. Because she's more of a, like, you know, a servant than an actual equal power level person. She's just going to be happy sexually abused. Yep. And instead of saying the R words, the grape, I'll just say sexually abused, because like it will not trigger as many brain cells to set on fire for most people. All right. Because I don't know. Sexual abuse feels like it has like a dial. Feels like you can control how much sexual abuse until you feel like, oh, they feel pain, I shouldn't do any more of that. With grape, I would say you literally don't care about the other person. With sexual abuse, you feel like you're just gonna abuse them until it's too funny or too like cruel, and you just like stop. So you have some self-control, and I think that's way better. All right, I'm just looking for a set of words that sound somewhat appropriate for the occasion, even if it's just happening in a fantasy world. I still don't want bad things to happen to other people in my fantasy world because that corrupts me as a person. Number 4, Sabrina, Girl Meets World. Again, we can like listen to the theme song, but there's a whole, idea behind the series. She also has a friend. She's an extrovert. Her friend is an introvert. But there's no real dynamic going on. Except there's a dynamic of like meaningfulness. And also, this is something I haven't explored, so I say for now. For now, this is going to be the thing that just kind of popped me. So the moment it kind of worked out for me, the moment when it sparkled, my understanding of like this is gonna work is obviously I like pictures of hot women and stuff, but it doesn't have enough meaning, right? What if you're watching the series and the meaning just kind of accumulates? Again, you have the dynamic of extrovert, introvert. The introvert is already just like jumping into a relationship because she's desperate, right? And then extrovert just kind of like chilling, like Sabrina just chilling there. And she was like chilling on a windowsill. I'm surprised that it's not called still, but anyways. So you can imagine she's just sitting there and interacting with another person. And it's like a cute little moment. And I'm like, shit, what do I do with it? And it's like there's so much meaning accumulated, and they even like communicate about like connection and all that stuff, right? About relationships. They're already like messing around. And again, it's just teenagers in a way, but they already have to like train themselves with the social ideas. So there's a lot of meaning accumulated, which is like completely normal stuff that you can't like sexualize that. So I'm just like, fuck it, let's freeze her in that moment and show what true connection looks like and how you do it. So that's what what broke me. And for now, it's going to be that superpower almost. I mean, it's not supposed to be that deep, anyways. And it seems very appropriate because Sabrina is like a wind person, like a freezing person. That's where I got the idea. iCarly. By the way, these are Nickelodeon shows labeled orange. With iCarly, I'm like, honestly, I don't care. We're just gonna do it in public, and she's gonna enjoy it. Because her biggest insecurity of like the episode that I watched to train myself to understand like what is the vibe of the show. The episode was literally her birthday, and she wanted to like have a private event for herself, just by being by herself. Kind of like just dismissing her birthday entirely. But her brother just pulls her in, collects all the guests and all those people, and it's like, do whatever you want, right? It's that sort of vibe. Just do whatever. Just be yourself, Carly. No problem. No one's gonna fucking judge you, no matter what you do. And it's like, well, let's go to the extremes. Let's just moan the entire time. How about that? Now that's one good birthday. And even there's a rule of like you can't leave the birthday unless there's a really big issue. You get pregnant or you're like very sick. It's pretty fucking weird, but yeah, it's a very memorable moment. Like you can make memories just doing that, and it's like crazy experience that I can't possibly create in using the resources that I have or friendships that I have. But I have nothing, bro. Or at least nothing as good as this shit. This is fascinating to me. I can't even hold a conversation. Just people fall down, shatter on the floor, and I'm like, the only thing I can do is put you in the garbage bin. When you're an adult, for you, sexual abuse just sounds like, you know, as if you're attacking, as if you're having a pillow fight. It's a pillow abuse. Like it's not that fucking deep. You know, it's just you smacking people with a pillow, and it's like, is that abusive? Yes, if they're like hardworking people and they want to be left alone. But you don't give a fuck. You just smash them with a pillow until they really get upset, and it's like, okay, I guess that's over. That's what, for me, sexual abuse stands for. Sexuality, like, is a fluffy, loving thing, and everyone likes it, and it invokes great emotions. So it's just like a fucking pillow fight. It's like a sleepover. So abuse connected with sexuality doesn't fucking sound that bad, you know. Now, when it relentless abuse, like, now that's pretty bad, as I've said. Was number 6 Kira Kosain. I don't know. How do you say that out loud? I don't know, man. So Thunderman's still a very awkward name for a show. Also, she gets superpowers just like a wizard, but like a dragon all of a sudden. Has fire breath and frost breath and can turn back time or something. It's a fucking weird shit. Or stop time. But I'm like, you have so many superpowers, you must be a virgin. Being pushed around and be like, we're having sex and you're not having anything. And like, Kira might get like super angry. I don't know, man. I don't know what's gonna happen. I haven't explored the show enough. Actually, I just messed up. But that's fine. You didn't see nothing. You didn't pause the video. You don't have superpowers to stop time. What a fucking loser. So yeah, it's a question. There's a question mark everywhere of like what the cool things that are gonna happen, but it's probably just gonna be kept in private for me, because it's still weird for me to, like, with high self-esteem, express of like, holy shit, I have had such crazy experience. Also, like, sexual experience always gonna be hidden in the darkness, allowing for like some wiggle room for like relationships. You know, like, it's very difficult to start a relationship when you know they had a body count of like 100 people. Like, it's pretty hard, you know. What? 100? Please. Am I gonna be just a body count number? But again, you have to open your minds that you're powerful enough to like detect bullshit, and you'll just push people away very fast. You're not supposed to be desperate. You're not supposed to be even desperate to have a relationship at all. For me, again, I'm on Akira's side. I'm the virgin here, so I can have virgin energies and superpowers, and I definitely treat it as a superpower because you're not wasting time with this bullshit that sort of is like very relevant to have relationships, but they're not necessarily helpful for your improvement in life. And I can definitely feel like I'm running really fast in comparison to everyone else. The other children just learn how to like survive school, and I'm learning about the money, I'm learning about titles, and where you get like a lot of power and like influence, or resources rather, and how I will be able to exchange those resources. The whole world opening up for me. It's pretty fascinating, and this is the Disney training that I want to have as well. You know, I want to share that experience of like, they got a Disney training, I want some too. Demi Lovato, apparently also a Disney princess. And it's true because she's friends with Selena up to that point until they break up and become like bitter. But it's fine. I think they're fine. Selena is just like the very, very friendly person, like dominates friendships. I think it's her honor that she built a relationship with Justin Bieber, with Taylor Swift. Like, it's her work behind all of this, because I would be a person like that as well. I would really appreciate a friendship that I have with someone. So she has like the most powerful stuff behind or up front for everyone to see, that she built all these things, and that she desperately is holding on to that shit as well, being heartbroken by Justin Bieber forever, it seems like, but it's actually quite a novel thing. So with Demi, another strong relationship. She has a show called Sonny with a Chance. And what's going to be the twist? Well, I'll pick a target. There's always like a hot girl showing up, you know, without pants. Oh, oops. Well, let's reveal everything. But, you know, they show without pants, and I'm like, oh, that's probably going to be attractive. They're, you know, next level is tights, and then the final level is tights with colors. All right, it's the whole hierarchy of things. And then you can even push a little bit forward. If there's tights with colors and patterns, then it's like, fuck, I'm getting murdered here. And it's not even funny, bro. I'm gonna be bleeding from my nose very soon. So yeah, you just wait them for them to go off screen, and just like creeping around and just waiting. I'll be very patient. I've seen you now. It's time to go off screen, and bad things will happen to you because you're too hot. We're gonna skip 9 and go to Laura. She has the show Austin and Ally, or Ally. I don't know. I literally don't know, because there's actually a show called Ally and AJ, and then literally the names of the girls. And it's a very old show, but it's still an interesting one. But yeah, like, what? Another Ally? Alright. Now, she's a water person, just like Ariana. In fact, they kind of share the same personality. Like, exactly the same. The introverts with popped out eyes. I mean, but she kind of like transferred me into a traumatic experience where, like, I had that kind of person in my room. I was in this like love triangle, like wiggling myself in, and she would have been abusing me this way, where like, oh, we're having sex in private and all that shit, but actually what she's trying to do is do that, but make it extra awkward. Of like, I'm gonna get caught though by another person, and then I'll have sex with him, and she's just gonna be bouncing around like a sexual monster, bro. Going from one side to the other and not really committing to anything, but she wants to get caught. She wants to like create this sort of like just shock value, basically, right? And it's fascinating. It's another flavor of the just straight up cheating, straight up being a whore in public, kind of, to certain people that they literally can't say anything because they're not going to get anything, you know? It's so weird. It's such a blackmail moment. And I've dreamt about it. I'm like, blackmail was the word thrown at me, and I needed to like unlock what it truly means to blackmail something. And it's like, well, you ain't getting pussy if you fucking tell about how big of a whore I am, you know? I literally had the girl in my room. Whenever I call her a bitch or something else, some kind of like bitchy thing, right? She would just like freak out about it. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Why? I just kind of being playful. I don't even mean it. And I'm like, shit. Now it makes all the sense. She freaks out because she feels like she has control over me, but we didn't fucking even do anything. You know, you're freaking out a little bit too soon. And it was kind of fun, like, kind of fun, but I cried for 30 minutes, so no longer fun actually. And we obviously broke up, and it's like it's nice to have all these breakups of like women who we tried to have conversation with, and she was like the closest one. Again, I'm talking about a certain personality, not Laura specifically. Certain personality that like went so close that I'm like, shit, what's going on, bro? But that's how much confidence you have when you have a plan to blackmail people. Holy shit. So, the finale, and probably like the fucking hottest series that I don't give a fuck about. Because Dove Cameron is taking the kink for now. She opened up the can of worms, and rightfully so. Like, she has the color, she has the appeal. She just toys with herself, so it's like the most innocent thing you can think of. Like, she has everything going for her in terms of that sexualization thing. But if you want to go to the max, where it's literally just a pure orgy that could potentially happen, it doesn't happen, but it could happen. I literally just summon like this heat button in my brain of like, okay, it's getting pretty hot. All right, if we hit 50, then now bad things are gonna happen. All right, but if we hit 100, then the entire set just falls down on you, and it's now officially an orgy, unfortunately. Why? Why Bella and Zendaya just creates this insanity shake it up moment? First of all, they can't stop just moving around. They're dancers in the series, and they already like generate heat naturally, but it gets worse. They have colors, they have patterns, they torture me, and my eyeballs. It's like, how dare you call the police? Please. They're too hot, man. Please. Every single fucking episode just fucking murders me, bro. It's insane. Pew, 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 pew. I'm looking. I mean, that's pretty fucking sexy already, but like, we'll get there. That's pretty good, but we're still not there yet. Where like it just murders you. This is almost there, but they're literally in the same room with colors. And I can't stand it, bro. Clothes. They don't get that sort of treatment on Pinterest, unfortunately. This is super close. This is kind of like the normal setup. She fucking wears pink, and I'm like dying inside. You know. She sometimes wears fucking yellow. What the fuck? What am I even gonna find throughout the series? And I don't even know who these girls are in terms of like their future selves. You know, like I know they're famous and stuff, but I literally don't care. So there's a lot of to unpack, and it's just like a whiplash moment of like, it's probably gonna hit me pretty hard, even beyond that point. Now, again, Disney Princess Training is not exactly gonna fulfill you, you know. It's gonna fill you with treasures and success in a way. It's gonna give you a title, but it doesn't necessarily gonna give you happiness, right? To be happy, you have to be able to handle all this pressure, even beyond being a Disney princess for that particular period. You have to make good music. You have to find things to express, find self-esteem, believe in yourself. There's still a lot of work to do beyond the point of like you were an actress for that moment. But you can see how much novelty it is just to be a fucking actress. There's nothing going on the screen apparently, right? And I'm still fucking salivating like I'm watching porn this whole time. And to replace porn with this, I think it's a very good and a positive move to make, because no woman just wants to like obliterate herself for the sake of just, you know, continuing her career, right? So this is pretty cool. Like, yeah, you can do acting, you can put yourself in like really weird situations, and people probably gonna appreciate that. I don't know. We have to like put some ideas out there for other women to consume, because it could liberate them, and that's the end of the episode. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy if it unlocked something in your brain. And see you guys next time.